Hey everyone, Retire on Dividends here, back to make another update to my options trading journey. So let's get to it. So a different type of week this week. The market's been taking pretty bad beating, which kind of messes with your options plays. But I made it work, and I'm going to make it work going forward. And I'll talk about my strategy in a second. But first, what you see here, if you're new to the channel, this is just my watch list in order of who I like to trade. Basically, TSL, L, and TNA. Those are the main two I like to trade. I do like to do options on Misty. However, again, the market's down, especially Misty's down, so I can't really sell calls on my shares at the moment. And I am also getting into NVDX at the moment because it dropped a lot in price, so it's very cheap. So as of this moment, I'm in TSLL, TNA, Misty, and NVDX. So before we get to the trades, I just want to show you my allocation. So for the Retire Now account, I have about 39% in high yield ETF funds. Again, I treat this kind of like a savings account, right? It's the money that I'm not using to do options on, but it's working for me. Unfortunately, it's also kind of dropping at the same time because the overall market's down, but these are more so buy and hold. The only time I would sell them is if I don't, or if I need the money to, to trade more options if I get in trouble with my options, trades, which, at the moment I am in trouble, but I have, I'm trying a different strategy to get me out of trouble and still make income. So I'll talk about that, like I said, in a second. As far as options, the options assigned and pending options, it's about 48, about half of the account, 48%, which is fine with me. And then cash is at about 12%. So cash obviously going down as I get assigned more and more contracts. And the portfolio balance is at 51,000. That has dropped significantly, which, it is what it is. Market's not going to keep going up and up and up. So we're due for, a little drop. And then my current margin to withdraw amount is at 20,990. Again, that's the margin number that I'm going to use because I do withdraw via the mortgage payment. So I need to make sure that this is always a net positive, and it is. Margin to trade, this is if I didn't have any payments coming out of the account or if I didn't worry about withdrawing anything. I have 68,000 available to withdraw. And then cash on hold, these are just pending contracts that I have, sold puts. Basically, it's on TNA, which again, I'll get to in a second. All right, so that's that. There were no new questions, believe it or not. So there's nothing for me to add. There was like one or two questions that was simple, so I just answered it in the comments. But if you guys have like more detailed questions that you want me to answer during the next video, please leave them down below. And then if you could actually put, before you put the question, say question for video, and then put the question. That way I know, like, you want me to answer that in the video. Because sometimes I get questions, I don't know, like, if you want it for the video or if you just want me to answer in the comments. But yeah, let me know either way. All right, let's go to the options. So here we go. You ready for this? This is gonna be fun. All right, so TSLL. Let's go to the contracts that expired this week. Let's see how far I can zoom in without screwing this up. All right, so I had TSLL. I had to put $12 strike and $11 strike that was expiring this Friday. TSLL closed at 1066, which is just under the $11. So I had to make a decision. It was either roll those puts into the next week or just let them get assigned and lower my cost basis. And since they're cheap and since their margin maintenance is lower, I believe it's 50%, I let them get assigned. So I had to buy 200 additional shares of TSLL at the end of the week. TNA, I have a 38, I have a 40 that was expiring on Friday, and then I had a 34 expiring on Friday. So I'll skip NVDX for now, but if you look here in purple, what I decided to do is, TNA, let's look how much money I have in that. Fronted amount, 3,800 plus 4,000 plus another 3,400. That's a lot of money, right? What's that, like almost $1,100, right? So not 1,100, $11,000 because it adds up. TNA is not that cheap. So what actually, I have the exact number here, right under the watch list. Yeah, 11,200. There you go. So what the hell was I saying? So what I did, if I let that get assigned, what's the problem with that? Well, number one, yes, it would lower my cost basis, but not enough for me to actually trade options comfortably on. And number two, I will immediately be using my margin, which means I'll be charged margin interest. And number three, TNA has a margin maintenance rate of 75%, which means I can only borrow on 25% of the balance for TNA. So I said, you know what? All three of these suckers are getting rolled out. Roll out. So yeah, that's what I did. And I'll show you right down here. I rolled these suckers out. Where are they at? So here they are, 3 in a row. I used the same strike. So I didn't change the strike because, well, I would have loved to lower the strike. However, TNA's down so much. If I lower the strike, I'm not going to get any type of respectable premium. And I honestly think it'll recover at some point. So I'm going to play the roll game as long as I can. So what I did is I rolled out the 34, the 38, and the 40. And I rolled it out. I rolled the lowest strike to the nearest expiration date of 3/21. And then I rolled the 38 to 3/28. And then I rolled the 40 to 4/4. Why so far out? Well, because I don't want to get early assignment. And the closer it is to expiration, the more likely, like this, especially this 40, for example, you can get early assignment. And I don't want to get assigned. I'm actually, I know I always say I welcome assignment. This is a point where I do not want assignment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep rolling these suckers out until TNA catches up with that price. Or until because I'm locked in, I'm kind of like bag holding TSLL too. One of these have to recover sooner or later. Whichever one first, that's fine. But right now, I don't want any part of these. So I'm going to roll these as long as I can. All right. And then, as these dates come up, I'm not going to let it get to that Friday. I'm going to roll it before that because I don't want assignment. I'll let them expire worthless if TNA ends up closing above any of these strike prices, though, because, that'll be good. And then for the roll, by the way, this is what I got in premium. 69 net for the, this is the 40, $69. That's not bad. The buy, do I have the amounts in there? What's the total premium? Oh, it's right here. Sorry. Yeah, right here. So I had to pay $657 to close the old position, but I got a $726 credit on the new. So I got a 69-cent credit, overall $69 credit overall. And then this one was $60. This one was $89. So, hell, better than nothing. And you see the annualized yield, nothing spectacular. But you know what? Again, like I said, better than nothing. Again, this is like more, it's like an interest-free loan on the $11,200, and I'm just going to collect interest on it. That's it. That's how it's going to work, and that's how I'm treating it. All right? And then I have the other TNA positions, which I'll explain what I did with those in a second. I skipped over this NVDX. This had a $9 strike price. What did NVDX close at? Let's see. It closed at $8.62, which is below that $9, right? So that $9. Oop, I hope I didn't screw anything up. Did I screw something up? Yeah, I did. Got to be careful with these spreadsheets. That $9 got assigned, and I let it get assigned. You know why? Because my cost basis is actually in the game. I have 100 shares currently at $11, so this 100 shares at $9 puts me at a cost basis of $10, which I can sell calls at $10 easily for next week, unless NVDX tanks on Monday. We'll see. All right, so we'll skip through the TNAs. We talked about those. Is there 4 puts? There's 4 puts there. All right, so there's the 34. Oh, duh. Is that? No, 34. Let me check this. Is there 4 puts? No, there's 3. There's a 34, a 38, and a 40. 34, 38, and 40. Oh, duh. That 34 is the rolling order. Okay. So it's these three. Okay. All right. So let's skip over them. All right. So now this is where it gets interesting. I have to fast forward to here. My TNA cost basis is 3260. I own currently 200 shares because the 100 already got assigned, but I own 200 shares at 40. No, I'm sorry, that's the current price. 41.33 is my cost basis. The current price of TNA is 32.60. God awful, right? God awful. So I decided during the week, at that point, TNA was at 31.81. I sold a call at $37. $37 is below my cost basis. But $37 was 16% out of the money. So I said, you know what? I got to take the risk. If TNA recovers and blows past that 37, what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll. I'm going to roll out the that option. I'm not going to let it get well. I could let it get assigned, and I could deal with it at that point. Or what I was thinking is I would roll that call out to a further expiration and raise the strike price. To what? I don't know. I was going to worry about that when the time came. However, it closed, it didn't get that high. You saw where it closed. Where the hell did it close? 32.60. So it expired worthless. All right. So I collected premium of $17. I know, not much. And it expired worthless. And I did the same. I said, okay, let me try a 36 too. Get a little greedy there. This one I collected $25, and in the end, expired worthless. So again, I'm putting my TNA shares to work. I'm not letting them sit there anymore, and I'm going to start making income. I don't care what the market looks like anymore. I'm getting in the game, and it's part of the risk for sure. Again, TNA could blow up, go to the moon, and then I have a decision to make. And again, I'll play it by ear. But I'm not sitting around anymore. I did the same thing with TSLL. I sold 2 calls. I sold one at 14 that expired on Friday. It was 26% out of the money. But in the end, it expired worthless. So again, no harm, no foul, right? And then I sold a 16 for the following week. However, I was able to close that sucker out early. I collected 75% of the premium because I didn't really want to hold that through the weekend because you never know. We could get good news over the weekend. So I don't want to be, selling a call lower than I prefer to over a weekend. So I'm probably going to sell calls that, the calls that are under my cost basis within the same week. That way I don't have any weekend, disaster happening that would be against me. You never know. So that's my plan. And again, I'll show you when I get to the individual tabs as well. But I didn't sit around and I didn't not make money. I made money this week. Overall, for the month of, what are we in, March now? I got $359. So, what did I get for the week? I think the same, right? Yeah, $359. That is the weekly. All right, so before I get there, let's get to the individual tabs. So, TSLL, let's talk about it. Look at this. Look at this. Remember my 10 contract rule? Well, here we are. 9 contracts. All of them got assigned. I got a 22, a 21, a 19, a 19, an 18, a 17, a 16, a 12, and 11. Who would have thought when I'm selling puts at TSLL that I would be here and TSLL would be at $10.66? But we are here, okay? We are here, and it's fine, all right? So these right here, these got assigned, so I can delete these, clear them out, which is fine. I have no pending puts on TSLL. I don't know if I'm going to sell more puts or not. I got to think about it, actually. But for now, I'm going to sell calls next week no matter what. And I have 900 shares to sell calls on. 900. Although my cost basis is $17.22 and the current price is $10.66, I'm going to sell calls far out of the money. They talk about the 20 delta. I can go 20 delta or less, and I feel comfortable about it. Yes, I'm talking Greek, I know, but you got to do what you got to do sometimes. So another thing I added over here, I wanted to start to take this into consideration, and I know I never did, is how much premium income have I made since this wheel started? So on these shares, basically, how much premium did I make? I made $801, which comes to about 89 cents per share. So if you think about it, I could lower the cost basis by 89 cents because I am somewhat in a rut. So even getting out in a break even is essentially a win. That's not how I usually roll, But again, this is kind of there as a backup in case I want to use it, like a bailout plan. But for now, again, my plan is to sell calls, say for TSL, for example, I'll do what, $13, $14, right? And then I'll hope, okay, let's hope TSLL does not close above those calls. But if it does, I'll roll those calls out. I'll do up in strike, out in expiration. But I may, in order to make a premium on that, I may have to go out further in expiration, which is okay. It's not a big deal because I have 900 freaking shares. So if I have to do 100 shares that push out to a month expiration, so be it. I really don't care. You know why? Because I'm happy that it's CSLL is going up, right? I want to actually, me selling calls under my cost basis, I'm basically challenging TSLL to go up. Like, I freaking dare you to go up, you know? Yeah. So that's the game we're playing now. It's a different type of game, but hey, I'm willing. I'm willing to play. And I'm sure most of you are probably in a similar spot. So here's my NVDX position. Oh yeah, by the way, I have no pending calls on those TSLL shares at the moment. NVDX, as mentioned, I had an 11. I got assigned the 9, so that puts me at a cost basis of 10. This one, I'm actually in a good position. So if NVDX goes up on Monday or stays flat, I can sell $10 calls easily. And if they get assigned, I really don't care because honestly, I could use that cash because I'm a bag holder basically on TSLL and TNA, as you saw. And those are my main plays. This one, I just got a little greedy and I said, you know what? I'm going to trade over earnings. And here I am owning shares, now 200. But this one's cheap, really cheap. And it looks like it's actually the only one that's staying within reason. So I am happy to sell calls on that. But, you know, like if NVDX opens on Monday, like up to 950, all right, maybe I could think about selling an $11 call, right? Get a little cap appreciation on top. That's something I have to think about, though. All right, let's talk about the TNA disaster. So you can see I have 300 shares here, a 42, a 41, and a 41. However, one of the 41s already got assigned, so I only have 200 shares technically, but I still use the average overall. The average overall is 41.33 per share. TNA is at 32.60, so obviously I'm way underwater. And then I have those 3 puts, which again, they're not even in the discussion. They're just sitting there. They're going to earn me premium on the backside with borrowed money from the margin, interest-free margin. And I'm going to roll these out as long as I can. Hopefully I don't get assigned early. I'm going to roll them out until TNA recovers up to each price. So the 34 eventually, hopefully that'll expire worthless. And then I'll work on the 38 and then the 40. And then hopefully again, TNA will recover. Because I do, you know, it's an index. It's a freaking index. Although a triple leverage one, I believe it will recover. It's just a matter of when. So the plan for next week is I have 200 shares with a cost basis of 41.33. TNA's at 32.60. So I'm going to, again, similar to TSLL, I'm going to have to sell calls under my cost basis. And then hope they don't get assigned at that cost basis. But again, if that happens, then I worry about what to do then. But for now, I'm basically going to sell calls, challenging this freaking ETF to go up. I dare you to go up above my call. And then make me think, okay, so what can I do? Let me look at rolling orders. Let me see what I could do. Or do I let it get assigned, take the loss on that one, and try to make it up? How am I going to make it up? Well, again, I'm using the options premium here. I made $1,791 in options premium. That comes to $298 per share. That's for the 300 though, right? For the 300. What is that? D23 plus 300. What does it say? Plus 300. M19, yep, divided by D23. Oh, that's because of the puts. Yeah. So it's actually more if you take out that because I consider those puts technically assigned. But if I don't add them, if I take out that 300, man, I made $5.97 per share, which would lower my cost basis down significantly in the little high 30s, 36. So again, I don't like to do that, but it is in my back pocket if needed because I'm in a rough spot, to be honest. TNA is at 32.60. My cost base is 41.33. But I'm going to do what I said. I'm going to try to sell calls Like I said, around a 20 delta or lower, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I have no pending calls at the moment, so we'll see how this all plays out. Obviously, like I said, for the puts, I'm just going to keep rolling them. The 34 is up next. It doesn't expire this Friday. It expires the next Friday. So I could roll it next week, or I could wait to the actual week that it expires in. That's something I have to decide. All right. All right. Great. Let's move on. All right. So Soxel, I don't have any shares. Misty, yeah, man, I got to sign 400 shares. What can I do? I can't sell calls. I mean, I guess I could do what I'm talking about on the others and sell calls at a lower cost basis. However, I'm okay. I can get to a point where I can say, you know what, this is just considered a high yield ETF, and I'm not going to worry about options. And that's kind of what's happening now. I own 400 shares at 27.75 cost basis. Misty's at 21.77. So this is just a buy and hold. I'm just going to leave it alone, and it's going to pay me a high dividend, and I'm going to be okay with that. MSTU, I'm not messing around with. Man, that thing is taking a beating. So that's it, though. That's the update on the shares. I did make, like I said, $359. Not bad for an awful, disgusting week. Capital needed for that was $24,000, so I yielded about 1.49% for the week, 77% on an annualized basis. So, like I said, not fantastic, but not nothing, not too bad. But yeah, again, just something completely different. I was kind of excited to talk about this with you guys, and we'll see how next week. The true challenge will be, I'm taking a risk. I'm selling calls under my cost basis and I'm curious to see, like, when I sell a call in TSLL, say again, $13-14, and on Friday TSLL is at 16, what do I do? Can I roll that call up, right? Can I roll that call up, and how far up until I get a credit? Or, right, I can do this strike split. I can, separate them out. I can sell a call at $11, right? And that'll match with that one. Capital flat, boom, out the door. I'll sell another call at 12, boom, out the door. Because look where the TSLL is. Again, that's just one way to play it. Another way to play it. So I have literally many options. So if there's no right or wrong way to do it. There's just the way. I just want to make income. That's it. I don't care. I don't care how I do it. I'm gonna do it. All right. So look out for next week. Here I come. All right. Hypothetical time. I know nobody cares about this, but I should probably just delete this tab. Let's see. 500,000. Who wants 500,000 a year? Well, I do. But let's see. With the current capital, with the current average rate of return, which is 224%, that's how much I'm earning on an annualized basis. I know I'd have to use all of the capital, but if I did use all the capital, I'd have to use $222,560 to make $500,000 a year. Is that realistic? No, it's not. But again, that's what the numbers are showing. My last, how much, actually, I don't know if I updated this. I have to go to the retire now account. Wow, yeah, 58.23. That's how much I earned. 58.23. Is that going to pick up the percent? Probably not. Of course not. Let's see. Where do I get? Where's my percent? There it is. Okay. All right, $858,000 is how much I would need to make $500,000. Yeah, I don't have $858,000, so that's not going to work. I don't even have $222,000. You can see my account is at 41, so hey, it is what it is. Anyway, enough with the hypotheticals. But again, pretty good week. I'm excited for the future, even though the market's sucking. But my old school strategy, my option strategy, my 10 contract rule, it has now been defeated. So I am now at a different strategy, which is getting out of my comfort level and selling calls under my cost basis. This is all, of course, thanks to the various discussions I've had in my options trading Discord. A lot of very helpful people who are in a similar boat. So it is nice to talk the various options through. That's why I always tell you guys you should come and join. But that's up to you. I know a lot of people hate Discord, and there's a lot of scammers out there, so you got to be careful. But I'm going to end it there because I do have to get ready for baseball practice. But I was luckily, hopefully I can get this uploaded before I actually leave. We'll see though. But as always, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, we'll try again next week. It's going to get interesting. That is for sure. If you have any questions or concerns, leave them down in the comments below. If you enjoy this content, please hit the like button. If you want to help out the channel even further, feel free to share this video and this series overall with your friends and your family. All right, guys, on that note, I'm out of here, but I just wanted to say thank you guys for watching, and we will talk next week. Unless, of course, you watch my other videos, then we'll talk very soon. All right, take care, guys. Later.